Our next speaker is Chris Orban, followed by Heather Lauterbach.
Thank you. My name is Chris Orban. I'm a professor in the physics department at Ohio State University, and I'm a Wineland Park resident. Many of you know me. In 2024, I ran for the State Board of Education, and I got to know a lot of the people in the Franklin County Democratic Party. Everyone is very nice to me. Nancy and I are both Methodists, and Nancy was very nice. Thank you, Nancy, for when I was running. Antoinette Miranda, I was running to fill her seat. She was also very kind to me. You all know Antoinette. It felt like a family. It feels like a family to be up here. But sometimes families have to have difficult conversations. And I think it's time to end the citywide voting system. Now, everyone under the sound of my voice, I want you to think of a mentor that you had at some point, a teacher, a principal, a pastor. And I want you to imagine having a conversation with them and saying, you should run for city council. Now, I want you to imagine explaining to them that if they can, they should try to raise $500,000, because in a citywide race, in a city as large as ours, that is what it costs. Now, I am not a keep money out of politics guy. I don't necessarily think that's possible, but I do think that it shouldn't cost more money to run for a city council seat than it does for the state legislature. How much money? It can cost as much as 10 times more money to represent the same number of people to the state legislature. And there's been a lot of talk about, can a ward-only system maintain the racial diversity of city council? Well, let's look at the State House. In the State House, I think it's fantastic and I think it's interesting that there are 2 Somali Americans representing parts of Franklin County in the State House. And I've never seen Somali American representation in this body, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we have a citywide election system, whereas in the State House, they're only representing, as they said, about the size of 1 ward. In the State House, I think it's great that we have Dr. Beth Liston, we have school teacher Sean Brennan. When's the last time those occupations were represented in this body? And I don't mean this to be personal, but how many lawyers do we need to run this city? And that's a funny thing to say, but we face cyber attacks, we face rising electrical costs. You do not have to sacrifice your values to put technical people into positions of power. You don't have to sacrifice the demographics of this body to empower technical people to put them in positions of authority. Now, the entire state of Ohio is looking at you all to see what happens when Democrats win every seat. And please show the state of Ohio that you can accept a simple and concise petition that changes the way that elections are done in our city without providing your own counter petition that would appear 2 months before it's being voted on to a very confused electorate. Please show the state of Ohio that you can do that. Thank you.